Our world is a truly remarkable place, a tapestry woven with countless threads of human endeavor, each telling part of a larger story. This story is our story, the story of civilization. It didn't begin yesterday or even a century ago. It began thousands of years in scattered pockets across the planet. To understand who we are today, we must look back. Embark on a journey through time, walk alongside ghosts of empires, listen to the whispers of forgotten cities. Across continents, through millennia, exploring ingenuity and resilience ancestors who laid the foundations of our world. Imagine standing on a silent plain, the wind for company. The first seed being planted, the first wall being built, the first law being written. Moments that changed everything, sparks that ignited the flame of civilization. A flame passed from generation to generation, sometimes flickering but never going out. This journey is not just kings and queens, not just great battles, not just towering monuments. It's about farmers, artisans, thinkers whose efforts turned settlements into empires. Dreams that shaped human history. Why do we look back? Is it simply to marvel? No, it's more. The past holds secrets. It contains lessons. Successes and failures are like a map guiding our journey. It begins in fertile lands where the first great societies took root. Our journey takes us first to a sun-drenched land, nestled between two great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. The ancient Greeks called this place Mesopotamia, meaning the land between the rivers. It's here, in what is now modern-day Iraq, that the curtain rises on our story. Around 6,000 years ago, people learned a revolutionary secret: how to control the flow of water. They dug canals and built irrigation systems, turning the dry, dusty plains into a verdant paradise. This control over nature allowed them to grow surplus food, which meant not everyone had to be a farmer. This simple yet profound change was the seed from which the first cities like Ur and Babylon would grow and flourish. With cities came new challenges and new inventions. How do you keep track of who owns what? The Sumerians, one of the earliest peoples of Mesopotamia, devised a brilliant solution. They developed a system of writing called cuneiform, using wedge-shaped marks pressed into wet clay tablets. This was a monumental leap for humanity. For the first time, knowledge could be recorded and passed down through generations, not just through memory and spoken word. They wrote epic poems like the Tale of Gilgamesh, and developed complex systems of mathematics and astronomy, all preserved on these humble tablets of clay. They built towering ziggurats, stepped pyramids that served as temples to their gods, connecting the earth to the heavens. At the same time, another great civilization was rising along the banks of a different river, the Nile in Egypt. The Nile was the lifeblood of Egypt. Each year its predictable floods would deposit a layer of rich black silt upon the land, making it incredibly fertile. Ruled by powerful pharaohs who were seen as living gods on earth, the Egyptians created a culture rich in art, religion, and monumental architecture. The most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt are, of course, the Great Pyramids. These were not just tombs, they were massive, complex structures designed to ensure the pharaoh's safe passage into the next world. They also developed their own unique form of writing, hieroglyphics, a beautiful and intricate system of pictures and symbols. From the fertile river valleys, our journey moves west, to the sun-drenched shores and rocky islands of the Aegean Sea. Unlike the grand, centralized empires of Egypt and Mesopotamia, Greece was a collection of independent city-states, or polis. In the bustling marketplace or agora of Athens, a new way of thinking was born. The Greeks began to ask fundamental questions about the world. What is justice? What is truth? What is the best way to live? This was the birth of philosophy. Thinkers like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. The Athenians also experimented with a revolutionary form of government, democracy, or rule by the people. The Greeks also gave us magnificent art and architecture, striving for perfection and balance in their sculptures and temples, like the Parthenon, which still stands today as a symbol of their achievements. Their epic poems like the Iliad and the Odyssey, and their powerful theatrical dramas continue to be told and retold. As the brilliance of Greece began to wane, a new power was rising on the Italian peninsula. The Romans were practical geniuses. They were master builders, constructing an incredible network of straight, durable roads that connected their sprawling empire. They built magnificent aqueducts to carry fresh water to their cities, and colossal structures like the Colosseum, a stage for spectacular and often brutal public entertainment. While Greece and Rome were shaping the Western world, equally brilliant civilizations were flourishing in the East. Our journey now takes us to ancient China, a land of vast rivers and towering mountains. One of the very first, the Shang dynasty, developed a unique system of writing on oracle bones, used to divine the future. Over centuries, China was unified under its first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, who commissioned the creation of the Great Wall and the astonishing Terracotta Army. The Chinese were remarkable innovators, responsible for inventions that would change the course of world history. They invented paper, they developed the art of printing long before it appeared in Europe, the magnetic compass, and of course they created gunpowder, initially for fireworks, but later transforming warfare. The Han Dynasty also established the famous Silk Road, allowing not just goods like silk, spices, but also ideas, religions, and technologies to travel across continents. Further to the south, on the Indian subcontinent, another complex and ancient civilization was taking shape. The early Indus Valley Civilization, with its well-planned cities like Mohenjo-Daro, later, great empires like the Mauryan and the Gupta. During the Gupta period, often called the Golden Age of India, there were extraordinary advances in science, mathematics, and art. Indian mathematicians developed the concept of zero and the decimal system. India also became the birthplace of two of the world's major religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, founded by Siddhartha Gautama, which spread a message of peace and enlightenment across Asia. The art and architecture of this period were breathtaking, from intricate rock-cut temples to beautiful sculptures depicting religious and daily life. These great Asian empires, with their profound philosophies, groundbreaking inventions, and vibrant cultures, created a world of immense sophistication and learning. Their contributions were not isolated but flowed along trade routes, enriching the entire tapestry of human civilization in countless ways. Our story of civilization is often focused on Europe and Asia, but we must now turn our attention to the vast and diverse continent of Africa, where powerful and wealthy kingdoms thrived long before the arrival of Europeans. South of the Sahara Desert, great empires rose and fell, creating unique cultures and leaving behind remarkable legacies. One of the earliest of these was the Kingdom of Aksum, located in modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. It was a major player in trade between the Roman Empire and ancient India, a hub of commerce with its own written script, and a powerful navy controlling the Red Sea. Further west, a succession of magnificent empires grew rich from their control of the trans-Saharan trade routes. Caravans of camels, the ships of the desert, trekked for months across the vast sands, carrying salt from the north in exchange for gold from the south and ivory from the south. The first of these great West African empires was Ghana. Its kings were known for their immense wealth, controlling the gold trade so completely that they were sometimes called the Land of Gold. Following the decline of Ghana, the Mali Empire rose to even greater prominence. Its most famous ruler, Mansa Musa, became one of the wealthiest individuals in all of history. His legendary pilgrimage to Mecca in the 14th century was so lavish, with so much gold being given away, that it reportedly devalued the price of gold in the cities he passed through for years. But Mali was not just an empire of wealth, it was also a great center of learning. The city of Timbuktu became a world-renowned hub for scholars, with vast libraries and a famous university where students and professors from across the Islamic world gathered to study mathematics, astronomy, law, and philosophy. These African kingdoms challenged the outdated notion that Africa was a continent without history before European contact. The ruins of Great Zimbabwe in the south, a massive stone city built without mortar, and the sophisticated bronze sculptures of the Kingdom of Benin in the west are further proof of the continent's rich and complex past. These civilizations were centers of immense wealth, political power, and intellectual activity. They demonstrate the incredible diversity of the human story and show that great empires driven by trade, innovation, and learning could flourish in every corner of our world, each adding its own unique and brilliant thread to the human tapestry. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Europe entered a period often called the Middle Ages. For centuries, life was fragmented and localized. Powerful lords ruled from sturdy stone castles, peasants worked the land in exchange for protection. The Roman Catholic Church became the continent's unifying force, its influence touching daily life, politics, and art. Monks in isolated monasteries copied ancient texts, preserving Greek and Roman knowledge. An age of faith. Magnificent Gothic cathedrals rose, soaring spires, stained glass windows flooded with light. Not a dark age. Gradual change arrived. New farming methods like the heavy plow and the three-field system boosted food and population. Towns grew into bustling trade centers. Guilds regulated trades, and universities appeared at Bologna, Paris, Oxford. Conflict shaped the era. The Crusades reconnected Europe with wider trade and knowledge, especially the Islamic Middle East. By the 14th century, a transformation began in Italy's city-states, the Renaissance, a rebirth of art, literature, and ideas of classical Greece and Rome. Humanism placed value on human potential. Creativity exploded. Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and writers like Shakespeare. Science and technology surged. Gutenberg's printing press revolutionized information, spreading ideas rapidly, fueling the Protestant Reformation and the scientific revolution. Explorers, with the compass and improved ship designs, set sail. The age of discovery. These changes laid the foundations of the modern world, transforming Europe from a fragmented collection of feudal kingdoms into a dynamic force that would soon have a dramatic and often disruptive impact on the rest of the planet. We have journeyed across thousands of years and stood in the shadows of pyramids, temples, castles. We have seen civilizations rise on the banks of great rivers, build empires on the strength of law and logic, and create wonders through faith and invention. From Mesopotamia, Mali, China, Rome, each society has left its indelible mark on the human story. What can we learn from these echoes of the past? What message do these lost empires have for us? The most profound lesson: we are all connected. Achievements of one civilization become the building blocks of the next. The numbers you use every day, ancient India, the Arab world. Principles of democracy, ancient Athens marketplaces. We stand on a mountain of accumulated knowledge, a legacy gifted by countless generations of thinkers, builders, and dreamers. Recognizing shared heritage helps us see beyond borders and time. It reminds us that we are part of one continuous human story, a story of remarkable creativity and resilience. History teaches humility, even the mightiest can crumble. Ruins of Rome, sands covering Silk Road cities, civilizations face challenges, environmental change, internal conflict, economic inequality, resistance to new ideas. By studying why past societies failed, we can gain invaluable insight into the threats facing our own. Are we managing our resources wisely? Are our societies just and fair? Are we open to the changes that the future will inevitably bring? The past does not offer easy answers, but it does provide a crucial perspective. Ultimately, the study of history is an act of hope. It is the belief that by understanding where we have come from, we can make better choices about where we are going. The story of civilization is not over. It is being written by us, every single day. We face our own monumental challenges, from a changing climate to global inequality. But we also possess knowledge and technology that our ancestors could only have dreamed of. Draw on wisdom, courage, creativity of all the civilizations that came before us. We can strive to build a future that is more just, more sustainable, and more brilliant than any empire of the past. Our journey through time ends here. Our own chapter in this incredible story is just beginning.